Hey, and good morning. Happy Monday. Yay! You are watching Breakfast with Bridgett. Bridgett is on vacation, so you guys are stuck with me, Crystal Moyer, on this Monday, September 23rd. Thank you for joining us. We have a lot to get through today, and I just wanted to tease this. We have the one, the only, iconic Monica May to talk to us later on in this program about a nonprofit that's getting moms and daughters closer together. She has her daughter with her, Monique, so we are super excited to talk to her and how you can get involved and get your kids involved in this event that's going on. Also, we have some news about a fire that happened at the headquarters of the Chabad of Greater Orlando and how the community is coming together to help with repairs. We've got online romance schemes, traffic, we're hitting the road again, but the big talker right now is that Invest 97L that's just making its way closer and closer to the Gulf. We want to know if it's going to impact Central Florida. So let's go ahead and bring in our chief meteorologist, Candace Campos. Hey, good morning. This is something that you've been following for some time now, and it's kind of picking up some strength here.
Right. And at the end of the day, it was designated an invest yesterday afternoon. Today, hurricane hunters, because it now is an invest, we get hurricane hunters in there scheduled more routinely. So we have one this afternoon, we have several tomorrow, and they'll continue to kind of zip through, really dissect that storm really nicely inside kind of the meat and potatoes of the system, because right now we have just satellite imagery, and although that does wonders for us, we're able to get a lot of information from it. It still doesn't really tell us what's happening below the cloud tops, and so we'll have a much better picture of what's actually the health of this system as we head into this afternoon. But still, this is a storm. It is a disturbance right now. It's not extremely organized just yet. But once it does, we'll get to really iron out a lot more of those details. But
and I just want to mention, Candace, sorry to interrupt you, but a lot of people, they keep coming to your office and saying, when is it hitting us? What's going on with this? I mean, you have all the information that you have right now, but this is still ever changing. So we appreciate all the information that you're giving us. And this is important why you need to download that hurricane tracker app and our pinpoint weather app so that you can get the latest details and those notifications when Candace finds out some more information.
Right. I mean, and that's the thing. Like, I always like to put that disclaimer out there saying things can change a lot, because right now we don't have that one defined center of circulation. So some models are picking up a center here, some are picking up a center here. Well, what happens if that center actually develops here, right? So that all will fluctuate in those computer models and the timing and the intensity, et cetera, et cetera. So let's get to the map, show you what we're talking about here. Again, this is Invest 97. Basically what that means is an area that is now going to be routinely investigated. Because of that, the National Hurricane Center still has a likely chance that it will become our next named storm. The next name on the list, by the way, is Helene. Tropical models still show it kind of weaving right there, kind of just I just call it just kind of right through the Yucatan Channel by about Wednesday morning, could start to develop. Now, if that center still stays over the extremely warm waters of that channel, it's kind of that zone, what we call a loop current. Water temperatures there at this point of the year between about 86 and about 88 degrees. So it will have plenty of available fuel to strengthen this storm. Some computer model intensities, I was just about to post this on my Facebook page, still showing it as a major hurricane. We're talking a category 3 storm or stronger by the time it approaches what looks likely the west coast of Florida by Thursday, and then heading into the southeast portions of the country by Friday and Saturday. So right now, the spread of these computer models is about 150 miles or so, taking it either from Panama City to, let's say, Crystal River. So that's kind of the main zone that we're going to continue to keep an eye on. Now, with that being said, once we get an actual defined center, we'll be able to get a much better idea of those computer models, the timing, intensity, all of that. This is one of the big factors right now. One, we need an area of low pressure to be defined, right, in the near the Yucatan Peninsula. That big ridge of high pressure starts to shift out towards the Atlantic. But look what happens. Do you see that little kind of like indent happening? That is an upper level low that's expected to dig through parts of the country. Depending on when it digs, where it develops, where it's kind of stations, will really depict on where the system will go, because that's going to be the main steering motion of what could be Hurricane Helene by that time. So you can see by Thursday morning, we're still talking about a pretty potent storm just off the coast of Florida, moving onshore by Thursday afternoon. So timing wise, most of the models in pretty good agreement. This will be kind of a late Thursday afternoon into Friday play, likely developing in the next 2 days. Could become a hurricane by the time it moves into the Gulf of Mexico. And again, hurricane hunters are scheduled to investigate, dissect that system by this afternoon. I have a feeling that we will get a lot more updates, especially this afternoon once we get that hurricane recon data in. In the meantime, Daytona Beach Skycam right now, it's a beautiful start to the day, tons of sunshine. We're at 72 degrees. Throughout the next few hours, though, temperatures will be rebounding back into low 90s. We have a lot of dry air in place. Let me show you. Hold on. Give me 1 second, Crystal. I want to show you this graphic. This right here shows the picture perfectly. We have tons of dry air in place, but look at kind of the southern fringe of that dry air. You see how it's starting to erode a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
That is some of that outflow energy that's starting to kind of push out of that broad low over the Caribbean. So as all that continues to push northward, that's going to erode away our dry air by Wednesday, pumping in that tropical moisture by Thursday and Friday. So with that being said, this is your 7-day forecast. You can see temperatures will be in the low 90s for Monday and Tuesday. Still pretty dry, same through Wednesday, but all that dry air will erode quickly. We'll start to get some of that tropical moisture. Now, the big question will be is how much moisture will we see? How much wind will we see? What will be the timeline exactly? All of that still, unfortunately, has to be kind of ironed out. We're still like 3-4 days out. So it's something that we've been watching pretty closely. This certainly is going to be a West Coast concern, but as we know, we could be on that right side of that storm.
Mm-hmm.
If we look more on that southern end of the computer model envelope there, this could bring a lot of that nasty weather to our northern zones. That could be Sumter County, that can be Marion County. If it shifts a little further, there's still just too close to call. This is not a system that we're saying, oh, it's out to Texas, whether it fluctuates a couple miles, no big deal to us. That's not going to be the case with this system. And this is not going to be one of those systems you want to take lightly, just because we do have a lot of available fuel for that system with those extremely warm waters of the Gulf of Mexico, the Caribbean as well. So it has its opportunity to strengthen into something more significant by the end of the week.
Okay. And you know, you were talking about me earlier with this storm, and you just said this is not a time to panic. You know, we are on the other side of the peak for hurricane season. So just make sure you're prepared. I mean, that's all we can say. Make sure you've got those apps downloaded so that you can stay informed. I think that's the most important thing, that you're informed on what's going on when it comes to the weather. And make sure you have, you know, batteries. Just make sure you check and make sure you've got your batteries, your flashlights, so that if something does happen,
right. It doesn't take much for us to lose power. Or I got my first message already asking if schools are going to be canceled. I'm like, ho.
Come on, guys.
Let's take a pause. We still got some time to watch this. But if there is things that you can do that makes you feel more comfortable leading into that potential of tropical stuff happening come Thursday and Friday, what that stuff exactly means still needs to be figured out.
Well, thank you so much, Candace. You continue to work hard, and we will continue to check up with clickorlando.com and, of course, all of our weather apps to make sure we are in the know on this Invest 97L.
Yeah, we know that you guys are watching and reading all over the place, whether it's on air, on our website, on social, on our apps, whatever the case may be. We've got that information. We've got the team pumping out all that data, all those updates. So that way you make sure that you are staying informed by a reputable forecaster, not just anybody who's going to be posting, you know, rogue computer models. And so,
Steve's back there. He knows.
He's like, preach. Anyway, all right, let's talk to him now.
Well, thanks, Candace. Well, let's scoot on over to Steve, who's sitting right next to Candace with our weather. And Steve, we've had some big issues out in Brevard County. 528 completely shut down after a semi-fire.
Well, then I am the one to bring you some great news.
Do we have an update?
Yeah, let's go out to the traffic cam. So traffic is moving. I know it's moving slow, but I have a motto in life. Any progress is good progress. As long as we're taking a step forward in life, that's all that matters. And I don't need Candace's hot over here
Y'all, he's
issuing
saying
out my
this. He's
as I'm
saying all of
preaching a
this
little bit.
because it's his Monday and his Friday. I just want to put that out there, okay? He is in the
At
best
the
of moods.
same time. Oh, I'm great right now. I'm like half asleep. I'm just chilling. So, okay, this is eastbound 528 at US 1. Last half hour of the show, we were completely shut down for a semi-fire. Now, FHP along with road crews have been able to get those travel lanes back open, but the delay eastbound very heavy this morning. So you're gonna slow down very quickly as you approach that Merritt Island US 1 area right at the Indian River Drive. I was recommending that people could slide down to 520 this morning, but we're also seeing some delays there as well because, hey, people were listening. But I give it about an hour, and hopefully things will get a little bit better out there. When it comes to I-4, your I-4 drive time's not the best. Out of Seminole, 28 minutes to downtown Orlando and a 25 cruise. Not bad coming in eastbound from Kissimmee to downtown Orlando. A little bit of a slowdown right there around John Young Parkway, but 429 looking good on the Florida Turnpike this morning, just with the slowdowns on the ramp. So just be careful out there, please, but no crashes to look at. Traffic is moving on the DOT cam. I get excited when I see the cars moving because sometimes they're just a parking lot. Pine Hills, good morning to you. Crystal, we're going to be visiting Pine Hills next month. I'm kind
Yes,
of
we are.
excited for Hits the Road. Silver Star, east and westbound, Hiawassee, Powers, all that fun stuff. Looking pretty good. Do you know where we're going in Pine Hills, Crystal?
Not yet. Not
Okay.
yet. But speaking of hits the road, Steve, you're hitting the road today, checking out Epic Universe for your Trooper Steve on patrol today. Tell us a little bit about that.
You guys don't invite me anywhere. You guys only invite me because I have a truck that
Oh,
has
stop
cameras.
it.
And it looks way cooler than me. So our producer Haley, part of our web team, if you guys remember News 6 at 9, she played an amazing role in the production of that show, and now has taken over really our theme parks and amazing things to do out here in our community. So she is our dive deep into Epic Universe. So today she's going to jump in the truck with me at 10 a.m. clickorlando.com. She has been just ingesting so much information with Epic, and the infrastructure is unique because I preach a lot about how people are going to build stuff all the time, but they forget about the roadway. Universal did not, and they are building a connection between Epic Universal and Universal Orlando that is something I've never seen before. So we're going to drive out there, see some of the construction. We have some great graphics. We flew Sky 6 out there on Friday, so you're going to want to tune into that today, 10 a.m., clickorlando.com, News 6 Plus, or the app, just for a cool little info if you're a theme park bug.
And both you and I are theme park enthusiasts. And I just, for the record, I did invite you out to Islands of Adventures to ride Velocicoaster.
Many times.
Why am I the only one still riding it alone?
Yeah, we'll make it happen. I still have also a pending Universal Halloween Horror Nights ticket I need to use before that expires. So,
well,
just
hopefully
saying.
someone will invite you. All right. Moving on.
Bye.
Bye, Steve. Again, you can catch us Trooper Steve on patrol 10 a.m. clickorlando.com, and of course the new 6 Plus app. All right. All jokes aside, we're getting to some serious news here because yesterday, after some services in the Castleberry area, there was a pretty devastating fire over at the Chabad of Greater Orlando, and they tried to save some of the very important documents there. And News 6's Mark Lehman explains how the community is coming together to help get results for this area.
We know that the entire roof is gone. The entire inside of the sanctuary is not usable.
It was an hour after morning services when a fire sparked up in the Chabad of Greater Orlando headquarters on Sunday. The flames quickly spreading as fire rescue responded.
The first thing is we thank God that there were no people in the building. The second most important thing, most valuable thing we own is the Torahs.
With everyone out of the building, the rabbis asked firefighters to save their Torahs, including one that's more than 200 years old.
One of them was in an office that wasn't affected by the fire. and the other 5 were in kind of like a concrete enclosure that had heavy fire all around it. Everything around that area was burned up.
Some of the Torahs were slightly damaged by water as the flames were extinguished. The rabbi is telling us they're still surveying the property, but grateful the damage wasn't worse.
So it's going to be a very meaningful Yom Kippur to know that this Torah is not just a survivor Torah that went through, history that we can't even relate to, but yet again, another surviving story which we can relate to.
If you'd like to help out, we have more information in this article on clickorlando.com on the homepage there. And of course, they're still trying to investigate what the cause of the fire there is, but they're saying no foul play was involved. So as soon as we get more details, we will, of course, let you know. Bless you. Someone just sneezed here. All right. So let's talk about some online romance scams. It's something that we cover often, and you keep thinking, how the heck are people still falling for this? Well, there's some startling numbers that came out. Last year, more than 65,000 Americans fell victim to romance scams, losing over $1 billion. And we did some digging and found that Florida has the second highest number of victims than any other state, according to the FTC. So in this week's Schemes and Ripoffs report, News 6 investigator Louis Bolden spoke to an Orlando woman who says that this could happen to anyone. Take a look.
It was an online relationship built on pictures, poetry,
The love I feel for you.
and flat-out lies.
I had never even heard of romance scams at that point, so it wasn't even on my radar.
Rebecca D'Antonio says she joined an online dating site with a friend and soon after started chatting with a man claiming to be Matthew Sean. They bonded for weeks, exchanging pictures, cute text messages. He even wrote a poem.
I've been looking for you again, and still I cannot find you.
The plan was to meet in person after his business trip to Nigeria with his son. He even snapped a picture of them on the plane. But then it came, the emergency, the setup. His credit card supposedly stopped working overseas, and he needed money fast. You had reservations
Yes.
about sending him money, but you did.
Yes, I did start sending money. I thought it was going to be a one and done, max 2 transactions.
Over the course of a year, she made many transactions, nearly $1,000 here, $1,900 here, $2,100 there. She says she lost about $100,000 to someone she would never meet.
As things kept escalating and becoming more dire, both for them and for myself, I'm taking out loans. I'm pulling money from my 401k. I'm maxing out my credit cards.
D'Antonio ended up filing for bankruptcy after she realized it was a scam. The FBI tells News 6 the number of victims is probably much higher since many people don't report. Now, if you think you've been the victim of a romance scam, go to clickorlando.com, look for this story, and we'll have a link to report it. Getting results, I'm Louis Bolden, News 6.
This is just awful. A lot of people losing thousands and thousands of dollars over these romance scams. And Kathleen, the producer here sitting next to me, we were talking. That's a lot of money, right? And I just want to urge everyone, if you have family or friends on these dating sites and they're, messaging back and forth, never seen them, and they're asking for money, that is a red flag, And in the words of Christina Milian, love don't cost a thing. And she was in the movie there, and Jennifer Lopez. If you know, you know. All right, so we're going to take a quick break, and we will be back with the one, the only celebrity, Monica May. Yeah, she is a celebrity. And we'll talk a little bit about a nonprofit that's kind of getting mothers closer with their daughters, and she has a special guest with her as well. We'll be right back. Welcome back. ClickOrlando.com, News 6 Plus viewers. You are watching Breakfast with Bridgett, featuring Croissants with Crystal, because she's on vacation. So we do have a special guest here today. She is a radio and television celebrity, been in the business for so long. You might remember her from Tom Joyner. You might remember her from 94.5. I'm welcoming Monica May. She also started a nonprofit, Let's Spill the Tea, dedicated to bringing moms and daughters closer. Good morning, Monica.
Good morning, Crystal. It's so good to have croissants with you.
Croissants with Crystal. I made that up. That's not real. So tell us about the special guest you have with you, Monica.
This is my road dog. This is my shorty. This is my daughter. This is
Aw.
Monique May.
Hi,
How are
Monique.
you?
Good. Thank you both for joining me. I know it's super early, and I know you both are extremely busy. Monica, every time I see you, I'm like, what's going on? You're always running around doing something. And what I love about you is you've given back to the community for so long. And I love how you're always working to help kids, help teens and families in the local area. And that's why you're here today talking about Let's Spill the Tea. It's a nonprofit that you and your daughter created in 2013. And you have a special summit coming up. Tell me a little bit about that.
So, Crystal, again, thank you for having us. Next Saturday, the 28th, over at Valencia College West Campus, right off of Kirkman. Thank you so much to Valencia and Dr. Plinsky for believing in our dream. We have been doing these mother-daughter summits since 2013. But it started from a conversation that she and I had when she was 13 years old. And we had it, and we realized that it didn't break us. We had it, and we realized it really,
Brought us closer
helped.
together, yeah.
It brought us closer. So giving parents the opportunity to unload their past really helps their daughter's future. So what we do with Let's Spill the Tea is we give them space. We give them prompts. We give them tabletop questions. We guide them through workshops, and they're fun. They're exciting. And it gives them, on the other hand, a chance to go from this to this. And I don't know, I just made that up, but the clash happens during teenhood.
It
Yeah.
really does. And the beauty of what we do is that we've seen it now on its third generation, right? So I'm a millennial. We've done the program since my niece was Gen Z, and now we're into Gen Alpha. And knowing that it's a tale as old as time, that teenhood, girlhood in general is challenging no matter what age range you're experiencing it in. And we're just grateful that our story, our message still provides value to our community, and that we're able to keep up with the challenges that young women are going through, and being able to stand in our truth and share it with them, hopefully to avoid some of the pitfalls, or at least be empowered if they go through them. They have resources. We connect them with people to help with like understanding STIs and HIV, dating violence, also just how to communicate with your mom better and to understand her as a woman, right? So a lot of times we can just see our parents as an authoritative figure and not a human. And so being able to kind of bridge that gap, that generational gap, to say, hey, mom, this is what I'm going through. Hey, daughter, I've been through this and I want to help you. And I think it also encourages moms to own their tea, their secrets, and to be able to share them in a really safe space. We also have mental wellness, like we are advocates for mental wellness. So we do have licensed mental health counselors on site that day to help kind of close some of the wounds that might open up. But that's really a part of our mission, is to get people in touch with the right support that they need, so that it's not just a one-day experience, but that it
continues on. And I love how you mentioned that, because only you two can kind of talk about the experiences you both had. And I think especially in this digital age, we are seeing that some teens don't feel comfortable speaking to their moms about some serious subjects and things that they're going to. And this is a critical time in life when they're teens, when they're starting to develop into young women. So what are some of the difficulties and obstacles that you, Monica, faced as a mom, and you, Monique, as a teenager, when it came to communicating with each other and kind of talking about these difficult topics as a teen?
Well, of course, one that she said was dating, but beyond dating, it was just being comfortable in the skin that you're in. We come in all shapes and sizes, and so do our daughters. So helping them become full-bloomed women and just loving themselves, no matter how they look, no matter how, whatever. And so we also help them with what's the next step for your financial literacy? So we have 8 cents in a jar. What's the next step for your career? We have Career Source coming in. They're going to talk to the moms. So we separate the daughters from the moms, and there's going to be some dads there too, because we have since started Ties and Tea. And so there will be some dads in the house and they just get a chance to have their own line of information. But it's similar to what the daughters are experiencing that day, so that when they get back together, there is a line of communication that they can all pull from. So
I
it's
love
a
that.
wonderful day. Yeah, we
And
were
can you
shooting
guys
for
talk a little bit? I
200.
know we're running a little short on time, but real quick, where can someone go if they want to register or find out some more information on Let's Spill the Tea and this summit that's coming up this weekend?
Absolutely. You can visit us online at let'sspillthetea.org or follow us on Instagram at let'sspillthetea.inc.
Thank you, ladies, so much. We are out of
Thank
time, but I
you.
really appreciate both you, Monica May and Monique May, joining us this morning. Very important topic and a wonderful organization and a way for moms and daughters to kind of build that bond as, you know, these teens grow into adulthood. So thank you so much for joining us, and thank you all at
Thank you.
home.
Thank
I
you.
hope you all learn a little bit more about this organization, and thank you for joining us on Breakfast with Bridgett.